Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Redmen TV. It is the LFC Fan Interactive Show. We're going to be talking through some Liverpool news stories, getting some Liverpool stats, some reaction and fallout to the 3-1 win over Leicester in the EFL Cup third round last night as well. But most importantly, I'm going to be reacting to the comments, thoughts, feelings, and everything of you guys in the comments section. So if you're live with me right now, bang a comment in, and if it's fun, interesting, insightful, creates an interesting point or topic for debate, then I'll put it on in response to the headline. The Sun, the Moon, the Truth simply says, glad he didn't, we got Sobbo. Now, it's not totally accurate to what we're going to be discussing, but just to highlight a comment, I just like the fact that let's just talk as much about Dominic Solanke as we possibly can. So yeah, there's that. Okay, we've got a load of bits and pieces. Obviously, the big story is the Sofyan Amrabat stuff, which kind of came out yesterday-ish. We've not really discussed it anywhere, so I want to get your thoughts and opinions on that. We've got a little bit from Jurgen Klopp talking about Szoboszlai's strike. With Endo, really nice interview with him post-match in The Athletic to talk about some stuff on Kurt Jones at right back. I want to dig into that as well. But yeah, we're going to go through a couple of stats from last night, just to kind of, whet the appetite, get the juices flowing. Andrew Beasley at Base Tune to Red put last night. Liverpool have tonight fielded 4 of the 5 players they've bought in 2023, and they've all got a goal or assist. Very, very encouraging, isn't it really, in terms of how everyone's settled, to the point even Endo. I mean, he gets an assist for Szoboszlai's absolute thunder bastard of a strike. Now, it's always the funny thing with assist stats. Now, it's a good pass. It is a good pass to him, so he deserves credit for a good pass. He couldn't have been in that situation to take that strike without that pass, so it's a good assist. But then it's how much work has to be done from having the ball to him being in the corner, being jumped all over and celebrating. It is what it is. But regardless, let's not take it away. Really encouraging to see the start of all these guys. Gravenberch again doing well again. We have got a stat on Ryan Gravenberch to move things forward. Michael _Reed 11 said Ryan Gravenberch is the first player to assist a goal in both of his first 2 starts for LFC in all competitions since Jordan Ibe in August 2013. Now, I always feel better when these stats are like, it's like the only Mo Salah type ones, or it's something sort of mega. It's not a huge deal, obviously, assisting in your first two starts for a club, but sounds. I like that. I like the fact that it's not been done in. It's 10 years since someone's done that. Is a pretty cool thing. So yeah, really encouraging start for Ryan Gravenberch there as well. What have you made of his start as a Red? It's interesting that he's quite clearly he's being integrated quite quickly already. I'd be interested to know. I'm going to corroborate this in terms of how many minutes certain players have played. Bear with me. I'm just going to get FB Rep up to have a look at how many minutes Liverpool players have played so far. But obviously, some players can be a bit more of a slow burn. We know Szoboszlai has been chucked in, so much so that he's now already being protected for like the sort of lesser games. There's no doubt that he's in Liverpool's best midfield, and it's interesting that maybe that would have been slightly in doubt from the early parts of pre-season. But in terms of minutes played, let me just quickly get this up. Then, so most minutes played for Liverpool so far: Alisson 540, Robertson 540, Szoboszlai 540. I don't feel actually that's Premier League. Let me get all comps. Yes, there we go. So actually Szoboszlai's played the most minutes of any Liverpool player so far in 596. Go away, pop up, go away. And then moving down, I'm trying to make a point actually about the new signing. So Endo has now played 240 minutes for Liverpool, and Gravenberch has played 152. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, Gravenberch feels like he's kind of played more, and maybe that's a recency bias of having seen with my own 2 eyes the last game and the Leicester game. But yeah, good. Anyway, positive start for all of them. Another one from Michael Reed. Liverpool have both won and scored 3+ goals in 5 consecutive games in all competitions for the first time since January 1986 under Kenny Dalglish. So Liverpool have both won and, whilst winning, scored 3+ goals in 5 back-to-back games in all comps. The last time that happened was January 86. Now, this is the kind of stat I like. Because these are the ones where you compare it to good Liverpool teams of the past. I call them road markings on the path to success. I think I've said that better in the past. But yeah, road signs on the highway to glory. That's marginally the same. Yeah, I like stuff like that. I mean, look, you're not going to score. You don't need to score 3+ goals to win games, but to have 5 consecutive games where you've scored that many goals is a good thing. Following on, Michael Reed says the last 4 of those have all been 3-1 wins. That is the longest run of Liverpool games finishing in the exact same result/score since they had 5-1-0 wins in a row in February-March 1974. Love a good random stat, mate. Great stuff. Class. Okay, cool. We're going to move things on. Just interesting. A couple of comments we mentioned. So I was like on the way. Craig Flynn. It says Sobbo is Gerrard 2.0. Yeah, I really do. I do love a bit of that. He also said Sobbo, what a strike and what a player. He's just great, isn't he? He's really, really good. It's mad to have someone just be that good from the off. And the thing is, he's not even there yet. And it's interesting, actually, I'm going to move on to talk about him because Jurgen Klopp was asked about it. This is Anfield, right? And Jurgen Klopp has hailed top bloke Dominic Solanke after his grenade from range, helping Liverpool fight back to a 3-1 win over Leicester. It took Solanke just 5 minutes coming off the bench to turn the tie on its head, firing him from distance to make it 2-1. A little bit further on, he talks about, in particular, he says, I don't have to tell him to shoot. He knows better than me that he has a pretty good skill. The next one, which was slightly over, was another grenade. You can see that. In Premier League games, everyone tries to block him. That's why he hasn't come through yet. But if he comes through, it's a good chance the ball could be in. But super goal, the situation, Wataru passed the ball through, and in that moment, there was no midfielder. There is no defender who can then hold him. That's why it's so important that after winning the ball to try and play the first pass forward, or at least have a forward orientated idea. That helped there a lot. Great, yeah, really, really good. And it was interesting that from the game of the weekend, the guys who stand behind me on the cop, we were discussing Szoboszlai, and he was saying, I think Darren was saying, he's going to do one of these soon. At some point, he's not going to get blocked because you can see him. He gets the ball played back to him a couple of times at the weekend, and he's shuffling it, and it's not quite on. So he either has one or two where he's just done a master blaster and it's come straight off the guy in front, but most often he's maintaining possession and keeping the ball moving. It's a great weapon to have, and once people are obviously onto it, they know that he's got that ability, but when it opens up to him, he's going to do a good job. He's going to test the goalkeeper, or he's going to create that kind of shooting opportunity, which is great. And he's clearly going to get a few of them a season, I think. But what happens when you start to have that in your arsenal? Opposition start to overthink it, and then that creates other avenues for things to happen. So what you might find is Szoboszlai might get a little run, a little glut of these goals, but then clubs will specifically clamp down on it. And then what you'll find is Jones gets a couple, or one of the wide midfield, or the wide forwards gets into more space, or a through ball opportunity opens up because someone's running out to press him. So yeah, really, really good. It was a hell of a strike. I mean, just one of those ones that it was hit so hard it felt like it was teleported into the top corner. Really, really good stuff. And I mentioned there for Wataru Endo's role in it. He was speaking to James Pearce last night of The Athletic. He was asked about the game. He said, I enjoyed it so much. I thought I was better than in the other games. I'm happy that I was able to show who I am. Defensively, I'm trying to adapt like I played in the second half tonight. I wanted to play like that at Newcastle and in the Europa game, but I understand I needed some time. It felt so good to play the full 90 minutes, and I felt like I was able to make a difference. If I keep playing like I did in the second half, then I hope I'll play more in the Premier League. I feel ready. I have to perform like that in every every game. And he says, the system is different. The game is faster. My position here is a little bit higher than it was. The manager doesn't want me to just stay in front of the defenders. I have to go higher and to try and get the ball all the time. Here we have to win every game, but I don't feel pressure as a result of that. I'm humble, but I have the mentality that I'm here because they believe in me. It's exciting to be a part of it. This is my dream and I'm enjoying it. We have done great so far. And one just little side note, actually, he actually talks about how he wants to get home because his 4 kids started at their new school. So his family have finally come over. His kids have just settled in school. So again, it's all part of a player kind of starting to bed in. You know, it's interesting, just a random aside, a picture came up from 11 years ago in the early stages of our Redmen website, and the agenda was talking about why hasn't Barini settled. But then when the Being Liverpool documentary came out, it had him, he was like in a random apartment surrounded by boxes. He hadn't had a chance to unpack, and then all of a sudden he's playing games of footy for Liverpool. I'm not saying that's why he wasn't a success at Liverpool, but we forget sometimes the human side of things. Endo's got to get his family, and his family, he says, like, family is I can't wait to see them. Family is everything to me. So yeah, nice to see him having his best game in a red shirt, and hopefully now with his, you know, his personal life will settle down a little bit. Then hopefully we'll see even more and good from him. Mr. Cop 11 here in the comments saying big up Endo. Let's see what else we've got in terms of this. Temi Dio says Gravenberch gradually blending in. 2 assists already is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Go ahead. And he also says glad Liverpool is returning to what they were known to be. Yeah, definitely. Really got that real feeling of control. And even when they're not winning in games, that they believe that they're going to go and win games. Daniel Stewart says Quansah on the ball looked smooth as Old Spice. Yeah, smooth as Old Spice, sprinkled on a piece of cashmere. Really good, great assist from him, by the way, tearing down that right hand side. You know, you're not going to see Virgil van Dijk do that. You know, Matip loves a good forward foray, doesn't he? But not as direct as that. It was, yeah, really good stuff. Ketty, just as again a bit of a separate topic, saying is Maddison missing for Spurs on the weekend? Apparently not. I think he should be back in for that one. Let's see, Bloodnot Harper, who's one of our members here on YouTube, says, apparently Szoboszlai's speed of the crazy goal he scored was 65 miles per hour. I would have said it was light speed. Yeah, I thought it might have been getting compared to, like, baseball pitches and, you know, cricket bowls and stuff, where you're getting towards, like, 90 and 100 miles an hour and that kind of stuff, but it was still fast. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, and Ola Kunle 007 says the intensity has returned to our game. Okay, let's move things forward. League Cup. So the League Cup draw was made last night after obviously getting through. We know that the Reds are going to be playing Bournemouth in the 4th round of the League Cup. Decent draw, I guess. But drawn away to Bournemouth is not ideal, because that is it's a trek. It'd be interesting to know whether they fly that. I know. I mean, I've flown to Southampton before. It's all kind of South Coast, but it'd be an interesting thing to do, because it's awkward, and as fans, it's a bit of that is a crap midweek away. It's going all the way down to Bournemouth. So yeah, not a great draw in that regard. But in terms of the other teams that were drawn. The round of 16 already. The League Cup's mad, isn't it? Right, Man United drew Newcastle at home. Chelsea have got Blackburn at home. Bournemouth have got us at home. Everton in the Sean Dyche derby have got Burnley at home. West Ham have drawn Arsenal. Mansfield Town have drawn Port Vale. Exeter City have Middlesbrough, and Ipswich Town have Fulham. Some tasty ones in there, and the really encouraging thing about that, with obviously Man City already out, one of Man United or Newcastle are going out, one of West Ham and Arsenal are going out. That's very encouraging. And just in terms of like the other kind of end of the draw, one of Mansfield and Port Vale and one of Exeter and Middlesbrough will be in that next round as well. So yes, again, not the worst draw, not the best draw. The away thing is probably the thing that gives it a slight wrinkle, but What do we think? Are we happy with that for the next round? In terms of when that game will be played, it hasn't been totally decided just yet, but it'll either be on October the 31st or November the 1st, and this is Anfield, right? That comes between a home game against Nottingham Forest and an away trip to Luton. So actually, Jurgen's going to get the Forest game. Will probably take the most precedence over all of that, but that's a really good bottom half Premier League teams. Three of those on the bounce. Yeah, it means that you can go, I don't know, you get to be quite positively, you get to make positive selections, I think, for all of those games. I don't think there's a game where you have to go all in on one particular match is what I'm driving at there. But yeah, really, really, really interesting stuff. If you're interested to know, the rest of the League Cup schedule is as follows. So yeah, as mentioned, the fourth round is the week commencing the 30th of October. Quarters is from the 18th of December onwards. The semi-final first leg is 8th of January onwards, and we commence in the January 21st is the second leg, with the final to be held on February 25th. Do you think Liverpool have got what it takes to go all the way in this competition? Let me know in the comments section. Ashley Pascoe says, definitely going to be a Wembley trip for us. Timmy Dyer says, how did we not get Port Vale or Mansfield? Well, it's a draw. That's how it happens. It's random. Ashley Pascoe also says they will fly to Bournemouth Airport. I did not know Bournemouth had an airport, so there you go. Yeah, there we go indeed. Right, okay, we're going to move things on. Actually, we've got a little super chat here. What's this? Here we go from Ajlabrui. So sorry. And SC supporting my favourite channel. Tricky tie against Spurs. If we win, then I think we'll be title contenders. So proud of this team, YNWA. Yeah, interesting. For me, on the title contenders front, I'm just... People can think what they want. I'm not trying my best not to overly concern myself with it, because we're 6 games into the season, 6 games into the league season. What the table looks like after 10 will be important, and actually what it looks like when you get into December, and then who's top at Christmas and all that kind of stuff. They're like your milestones. But Liverpool just need to make sure that when it comes down to the final 10 games of the season, that you're in that race, that it's possible. That's what you want. Everything else is like a bridgehead. It's foundational to get yourself to that. The race, that's when the title race starts. This is just title challenge prep that happens up until that point. But yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go on to the headline story then. I've got this via Sports Mole, but it was in a variety of places. Apparently United Confidential. Go ahead. Anyway, it says, on loan Man United midfielder Sofyan Amrabat allegedly came within a whisker of joining Liverpool before the end of the summer transfer window. The Moroccan international's future was subject of much speculation over the summer, but he ultimately made the move to Man United on loan from Fiorentina in the final hours of the market. According to United Confidential, Amrabat was hours away from joining Liverpool, only for a last gasp issue to hold up the deal, which allowed Ten Hag's side to win the race for his signature. Now, the report claims that the problem came from Amrabat's camp, and Liverpool ultimately switched their attention to securing a deal for Bayern Munich's Ryan Gravenberch. Man United will have the option to sign the midfielder on a permanent basis next summer, and he impressed during his full debut against Crystal Palace on Tuesday night. What do we think of that? Because I think, look, Gravenberch was quite clearly one of the top targets all summer long, and that only really finally materialised late in the window. And it does make you wonder. I mean, I wonder whether the Amrabat stuff, why? I mean, he's 27 now, only just 27. It turned in August. So he's a footballer in his prime. And my issue with Amrabat is I don't think he's top level. Now, I don't think Endo is either, and I think that's what it boiled down to. There was a choice to be made. I don't think Liverpool could get the truly top target they want, and maybe that's Andre, by the way, and maybe that might come in January. But obviously no one was beating down a path to Wataru Endo's door. It looks like just a smart purchase more than anything else, and he is obviously a few years old. He's 31. The Amrabat stuff is, I can't fathom how, when midfielders were going for huge fees, in particular defensive midfielders, and top level ones were at a real premium. I can't understand how he was available for 30 million and ended up going on loan to Manchester United. Why were there not more? Why weren't more clubs really having a go for him? Now, was he not interested in a move to West Ham? Fair enough. But when you consider like Edson Alvarez went for more than that, lots of defensive midfielders moved this summer. That was the one position that lots of clubs needed, and he's a bit of an awkward one. He'll have good games this season. He'll probably end up having a good game against Liverpool because that's funny how things work like that. But yeah, I would rather have signed Gravenberch, even though I don't think they play in the same position. Craig Flynn here says Gravenberch is better. Ash Player says Gravenberch is the future. Git Fit says Andre in January and our midfield is sorted. Glad we didn't sign Amrabat. The Butcher of Birkenhead says I never saw Amrabat as a Liverpool player. He had a good World Cup, but I don't see that as a true reflection of a player's career potential. Exactly, and that's kind of my thought on this. I think it was Ornstein was talking about him in January of saying, well, he had a great World Cup and he drew a lot of eyes, but that wasn't the general consensus about what his week-to-week level was like in Fiorentina playing in Serie A. So he needed to then really have a great back end of the season, and I'm not certain that happened. Otherwise, again, I'm sure there would have been a ton of football clubs really looking to go hard for him. So yeah, Pixel Hound says out of the two, I think we got the better deal. I agree with that too. Again, 21 years old, he can play both sides of the 8. He could probably do a little bit more offensive stuff if we needed to, and I think he can be moulded to do a spell at the number 6. In games where Liverpool are going to dominate possession, where we're looking to get more just ball players, ball carriers on the field. Is an interesting one. Victor Cox says, thank you so much for the hard work you've done with the channel. Keep up the good work. You're a very funny commentator. Funny looking, maybe. But thank you so much, mate. Russell Stubley says, I want to win the Europa, then get a CDM and right wing in January, and we can challenge for the title. Liverpool are not going to buy a right winger in January, and they don't need one. At least not now. But there's a chance they might go back for Andrew. Is my feeling on this one, to be perfectly honest. Limited Rolo says love the Paul away day. Thank you so much. If you haven't checked out, I did a match vlog as I tend to do over on MHTV, which is my other YouTube channel. It's all part of the Redmen Network, by the way. It's not like a separate project. It's all part of Redmen. All the ad revenue and all that all goes back into Redmen, so you can watch content on there and feel free that you're supporting what we do here as well. But I did a travel vlog as well, my first one. It's done like 31,000 views, which is pretty good for a new strand, it's got a little bit of the match action, but it was how you go and do a European away, and it was basically how I got from Liverpool at 6 o'clock in the morning I went to Frankfurt to Vienna, had a little look around Vienna, stayed the night, then got the train, an hour and a half train to Linz, had a look around Linz, went and look around the stadium, looked at like where I stayed, how I did it. It was good fun. I had a really good time. It was a lot of me just walking around noticing things and poking fun at them. But yeah, it's been a success so far. It's obviously pretty timeless as well. So yeah, if you want to go and check that out, it's got a quite striking thumbnail. It's me and an aeroplane and this face. That's on Mates TV. So yeah, I'll put it in the end card of this video. So if you want to, I say Joe, put it in the end card of this video. That'd be lovely, mate. So yeah, if you want more travel stuff, if it goes well, then I'll do the same for Toulouse and Union Saint-Gilloise as well. Russell says, by the way, he says we need a right winger because Salah needs competition. Disagree. Easy Ollie says Amrabat is a very good player. You get what you pay for. He's a Poundland version of Rodrigo Rice. Oh yeah, great. Craig Flynn says cheers again, Paul. Great show as always. Right, cool. I'm going to wrap that up there. Right, I can't say anything, but we've heard rumours through the grapevine that there's some big news coming Liverpool's way in this afternoon. So keep your eyes peeled on our socials. If it is big news, and I don't know how big it will be or not, but there might be something happening this afternoon. It's not transfer stuff, so don't get your knickers in a twist over all that. But yeah, I had a little nod to say there was something interesting was happening. I don't know enough about it. Keep your eyes peeled on our socials. Make sure you're following at the Redmen TV. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for when we go live. Click the notification bell. And if you always want to go deeper on every Liverpool story, go to redmenplus.com. You're going to get podcasts, videos, documentaries, but interviews with industry insiders, Dan Club's expert insights. Whenever there's a big news topic and you want to know where it's come from or what's really going on, we've got Journo Insight with Neil Jones, and we've got Dan Club who goes and finds people who know their shit. So yeah, if you haven't subbed over to redmenplus.com yet, then I would strongly advise, because look, if nothing else, the Reds are absolute must of the game, so we've got that kind of stuff. Right, cool. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't dropped a like on this, do that as well. All the calls to action. And we'll be back with another news show either later or definitely tomorrow. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the content today. If you want to get your name in and amongst these wonderful people, then head to redmenplus.com. Join as a Legend tier subscriber. You're going to get free merchandise codes. You're going to get in our Discord, and you're going to get your name at the end of YouTube videos. Yes, redmenplus.com, Legend tier status.